The word rainforest is probably not one that most people associate with southwest England. When you think of rainforests, you probably think of tropical, evergreen forests humming with exotic sounds and brimming with strange and wonderful creatures. But what if I told you there are rainforests in other, cooler places around the world, including the Pacific Northwest of America, New Zealand, Chile, and Britain? In the British Isles, temperate rainforests endure in the far west of our islands, from the west coast of Scotland and Wales and the peninsula of southwest England. These temperate rainforests are even rarer than their tropical cousins and may have covered up to 20% of Britain's landmass at their peak. However, over the millennia, these forests have gradually vanished from our landscape from relentless human pressure and land use changes. In southwest England, they survive as disconnected fragments, clinging on in inaccessible valleys, cliff edges and estuaries, and they occupy less than 1% of the land. The habitat is now so rare that it has nearly vanished from public consciousness and is at risk of being lost forever. But it isn't too late to bring this habitat back from the brink, and as this film will attempt to show, it is worth saving. The climate of southwest England is ideal for these temperate rainforests to thrive. The peninsula is surrounded by ocean and hosts a wet and mild oceanic climate. Depressions regularly sweep in off the Atlantic and deposit over 2 metres of rain a year in some places. This incessant rainfall results in forests soaked in water. The very air itself is heavy with moisture, and the humid environment allows water vapour to dance around the treetops, bringing an ethereal beauty to the early morning birdsong. On the ground, the rivers and brooks are the arteries of the forests and supply a constant stream of water which supports a variety of local wildlife. This extremely wet environment allows rare liverworts, lichens and mosses to thrive. One of the most characteristic of these lichens is tree lungwort, named following its resemblance to the internal structure of a human lung. In the wettest forests, nearly every available surface is dripping with life, and entire ecosystems grow on the surface of the trees and rocks. Nowhere is this better demonstrated than the forests on Dartmoor. Being the highest and wettest part of the region, the temperate rainforests here are at their most extreme, and their beauty is made all the greater by this extreme environment. Across the border into Cornwall, many of the remaining temperate rainforests are limited to steep cliff edges and valleys in coastal areas. The harsh coastal environment means the forests are regularly buffeted by gale-force winds, which results in trees growing at strange angles. In some of the more exposed forests, the trees are so stunted that you can actually stand above the canopy. In other, more sheltered coastal areas, the forests come right down to sea level, creating a mangrove-like environment. However, these Cornish rainforests are not the only coastal woodlands in the region. In the coastal areas of North Devon and Somerset, temperate rainforests form the longest stretch of coastal woodland in England, and at 12 kilometres long, you can really lose yourself in these woodlands. The combination of 250-metre high sea cliffs blanketed in woodland and the soothing sounds of the ocean make this a truly special habitat. Hidden away amongst these forests, you can find waterfalls cascading down the cliffs in their final act before reaching the ocean. A few miles inland from the Somerset coast, there are some of the oldest and largest temperate rainforests in the southwest. This area of temperate rainforest is the largest oak woodland in Britain, and there's a remarkably high number of ancient trees within the forests, many of which are over 500 years old. These ancient trees provide vital habitat for local wildlife, including bats, birds, and many other species. Unlike the unchanging tropical climate in rainforests around the equator, temperate rainforests have seasons. As summer transitions to autumn, the forests fall silent, but the autumn colours erupt across the forests. This fiesta of colour is soon replaced by the arrival of winter, and by early December, the forests turn grey. In these parts, winter usually means rain, and lots of it. However, some of these forests are just high enough in altitude to occasionally feel winter's bite, and when they do, they are truly transformed. So how have we lost so many of these ancient forests? Well, Britain has been inhabited by modern humans for at least the last 12,000 years, and for most of this period humans were hunter-gatherers, and there's actually very little evidence that they had a significant lasting impact on the forests in which they lived. However, once farming arrived in Britain approximately 6,000 years ago, all of this changed. Over the subsequent millennia, the forests were gradually cleared to make way for farmland and settlements, and the timber from these forests would have been used to construct these settlements. In more recent times, many of the temperate rainforests that survived this gradual deforestation were cleared to make way for commercial conifer plantations, which provide very little value to our native wildlife. So little of this habitat now remains that many people are completely unaware of its existence and have never even seen a British rainforest. However, in the last few years, temperate rainforest has been catapulted back into the public eye through determined campaigning by conservationists and author Guy Shrubsole. In 2023, a temperate rainforest strategy was published by the UK government for the first time, and there are now a number of projects in the southwest that are aiming to restore and expand our ancient rainforests. Such projects are symbolic of a reawakening of our connection with this habitat, and it gives hope that after thousands of years of decline and neglect, this incredible habitat has a chance to return. It will take visionary leadership and collaboration between landowners, farmers and conservation groups to truly bring this habitat back from the brink. But maybe, just maybe, our children and their children will grow up in a land where these temperate rainforests are restored to their former glory.